There's a feeling most people never name. It's not failure. It doesn't feel like hitting bottom or running out of road. It feels like being almost there. Like the life you actually want is one good decision away, one real opportunity away, one more version of yourself away. And the strange thing is, that feeling doesn't feel wrong. It feels responsible. It feels like the correct posture for someone who takes their life seriously. You keep moving. You keep refining. You stay in motion because motion looks like progress, and progress feels like the path to the thing. I've watched people live inside that feeling for years, not because they lacked drive or clarity or genuine desire, but because nobody ever stopped them long enough to ask, what exactly are you running toward? And more importantly, what does it say about you that you're still running? That's where this starts. Here's what I noticed, and I want to say this carefully because I think it gets missed completely. When a person is constantly working to deserve something, they're not on the path to receiving it. They're inside a belief that they haven't received it yet. That quiet internal state, not yet, almost, soon, that's not neutral. That's the ground their entire reality is being built on. Think about what that actually means in practice. The action itself isn't the problem. The problem is who is taking the action. If the person taking it is someone who is perpetually becoming, perpetually building toward deserving, then every step they take is powered by the assumption that they haven't arrived. And that assumption is what the world keeps reflecting back. I'll give you a specific example, not a clean one, a real one. A woman I know spent 3 years preparing for a business opportunity she genuinely wanted. She was qualified, she was ready. Every time she got close to the room where the decision would be made, she'd do one more thing first, one more course, one more credential, one more reason to feel ready. And what she didn't realize, what nobody told her, was that the preparation had stopped being about the opportunity. It had become a way of staying outside the door. Because outside the door, she still had a reason to keep going. Inside the door, she'd have to find out if she was actually the person she'd been preparing to become. That's what the race is actually for, a lot of the time. Not the finish line, the running. Now, before we go further, I want to sit with something honestly. Stopping the race is not simple, and I'm not going to tell you it is. Because the race gives you something real. It gives you direction. It gives you the feeling that at least you're doing something. And doing something, even exhausting something, feels safer than standing completely still and not knowing who you are without the effort. There's a version of striving that isn't ambition. It's protection. A way of never having to sit with the question of whether you're already enough. Because if you're always becoming, you never have to find out what you actually are right now. I think about someone who has been doing everything, meditating every morning, journaling every night, listening to content like this, growing, genuinely growing, and still feeling like they're in the waiting room. And when I look at that honestly, without flinching, the issue isn't effort. The issue is that every single one of those practices is being done by a person who is preparing to deserve. Someone constructing a case for why they should be allowed to receive. And here's the thing about that case. You can keep adding to it indefinitely. There's no final piece of evidence that closes it. No credential, no mindset shift, no number of good habits that finally tips the scale and makes the universe say, okay, now you've earned it. So yes, stopping the race means losing something. The forward momentum, the identity of someone working toward it. For a moment, maybe longer, you won't know what to do with yourself without it. That discomfort isn't a sign you're doing it wrong. That discomfort is exactly what the shift feels like at the start. But there's a moment. And I want to describe it precisely because most people don't recognize it when it happens to them. It's not a breakthrough. It doesn't feel like one. It happened to someone I know on an ordinary Tuesday. He was standing in a parking lot after a meeting that hadn't gone particularly well. Not a disaster, just flat. He was about to start mentally reorganizing, what to fix, what to do differently next time, how to close the gap between where he was and where he was trying to get to. And then he just didn't. Not because he gave up, he just stopped reaching for the next thing for a few seconds. And in that gap, in that specific unguarded pause, something came through that he hadn't felt before. Not a thought, not a realization, a feeling of already being the kind of person things work out for. Not dramatically, just quietly, like it was simply true and had always been true, and he'd been too busy closing the gap to notice. It didn't last long. His mind came back in within seconds and reminded him of everything that still wasn't resolved. And he listened to it, and the feeling closed. But here's what matters about that moment. That wasn't wishful thinking. That wasn't his imagination running away from reality. That was the first honest experience of a different identity. And the reason it felt unfamiliar, almost suspicious, wasn't because it was false. It was because he'd lived inside the other assumption for so long that anything different felt like he was making something up. He wasn't making it up. That was the first second of the after. Before we go into what the after actually looks like, if this is landing for you, the idea that identity is the actual mechanism and not the effort or the technique, we go much deeper on this at manifesttheinfinite.com. We publish guides there on self-concept work, identity shifting, and what Neville Goddard was actually pointing at underneath all the language. It's free, no funnel, just the work written out clearly. Manifesttheinfinite.com. It's in the description. So what does the after actually look like? Not what most people expect. The circumstances don't rearrange overnight. The bank account doesn't wake up different. The after doesn't arrive with any kind of announcement. Here's the specific difference. That same woman I mentioned earlier, the one who kept adding credentials before she'd let herself into the room, she eventually stopped. Not because she ran out of things to prepare, because she got tired of the preparing being the whole story. And the next time an opportunity came, she walked toward it without doing one more thing first. The outcome wasn't guaranteed. That's not the point. The point is that she walked in as a different person. Not more confident in the performance sense, just less interested in auditioning. And the people in that room felt the difference before she said a single word. Not because she projected something, because she wasn't hiding anything. That's the actual change, not the result. The interior the result gets to arrive into. And what happens when the identity shifts even slightly? When a person stops moving through the world as someone building a case and starts moving through it as someone who already belongs, is that the same moments feel completely different. A conversation that would have felt like an audition feels like an exchange. An opportunity that would have felt like a test feels like a natural next thing. Same world, different person walking through it. Now, and I want to be honest here, you will move back into the old feeling sometimes. Not because you failed, because the new identity is still unfamiliar. It hasn't become the default yet. What's different now is that you know where the other feeling lives. You've been there. You can find your way back without starting over from zero. That's what actually changes the trajectory. Not a permanent switch, but knowing the location of the door. I want to come back to where we started. That feeling of almost there. The effort was real. The desire behind it was completely real. I'm not saying the race didn't matter or that the years inside it were wasted. I'm saying they were aimed at the wrong thing. You were trying to become someone the universe would finally say yes to. But the yes was never at the finish line. It was always at the starting assumption. And the door to that was never locked.